Push harder.
Oh, that's the start screen. Ha 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 ha.
We haven't reached our final form yet.
Yes. Okay. I'm sure they can probably hear us. But hey, we've gone live. Tweet.
Woo!
Hello.
Do all the things for social media.
I'm just gonna bother with Twitter today.
What is it, Twitter? Twiddler. Twiddle your thumbs.
Twitter or not, you Twitter that.
We can hear us.
I got double feed.
I turned it on my phone.
Bad.
I turned it on my
Wow,
phone
I
and I
came
had
in
the
real
volume
good.
all the way up. I apologize.
That was extra.
Okay.
We're all extra here. Come on now.
Gotta be. It just me. Well, let's jump in and just have fun with it.
But hey, at least we look, semi-professional with the stream starting soon.
We look it. That's half of the battle right there.
I go lie, I literally started off with just having like some botched together GIF as my starting soon and some
This took me
synthwave lo-fi
literally
in the
5
background.
seconds in Canva. Like, if you're not looking for top tier quality, just use Canva.
I've never heard of Canva until you've actually mentioned it. That's another one.
To be fair, this, for how long it took, it looks like the gameplay screen is the one that's going to look a little janky because I didn't take a screenshot of 5 videos, so I didn't know how big they were all going to be.
What will you design? Presentation, social media, video? Cool. What is this? Marketing. How about a business card? Oh,
We're up to
okay.
7 followers! Woohoo! Thank you, people.
Already.
Holy moly, you guys are rolling already.
Oh, yep.
Not even the first 10 minutes.
We do have hot mics. It's going to be entertaining. This is the very first stream I've ever run, so...
Hot
We're gonna
mic,
have fun.
hot mic.
Hot mic.
Thank you, every single one of you who are here to watch.
Yes,
I love you.
absolutely.
I'll never forget when I was acting at a haunted house and I had to do a shoot for the news. I didn't know what hot mic meant the first day. I had no idea. And you can hear me rambling.
That's the best stuff, though. Oh, shit. Well, you're just like, yeah, I'm not aware.
We got done and the owner walks up. He goes, "We could hear every word that you said." I'm like, "What? What do you mean you can hear everything?" I'm like, "What happened?" Oh, okay.
Just gave us the realest interview right there.
Oops.
Oh, that's always great. You did acting at a it was a scare attraction?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty
so
rad.
much fun. So
Was
much
it
fun.
like a historical? Was it like a historically haunted house or
No, it
location?
was. No, it wasn't. No, it's just like one of those. Have you like Halloween horror nights that they do at like Universal Studios and stuff like that, where it's just people walk through, they get scared. They have like 4 or 5 different haunted houses that people walk through.
Okay, yeah, because
I'm
like
not
around
gonna
here we
lie.
have like Shocktoberfest or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have 13th floor and a bunch of cool ones, but I'm not gonna lie, the last time I actually went in a haunted house was at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And
Magic Mountain.
I didn't realize how scared I get in haunted houses.
You end up trying to
about
punching somebody.
ripped my mom's arm out of her socket. Yeah, that was the thing.
Wow.
Ow!
That's gruesome.
Like,
I've had like I think the one thing that I hold over I think almost everybody at the haunted house was I scared a lady so bad she went into labor.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
achievement
That was an
unlocked right there.
Achievement accomplished.
All right,
Achievement
I'm gonna go ahead and put us on the game screen. People are gonna be able to see us.
Here we go.
In
Oh,
theory,
I can't wait to see.
yay, it worked.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome
How's
to
it going?
Our first stream. I actually have an intro I wrote out, but I didn't bring it up until just now.
Okay.
Oops.
Hello, and welcome to Rainbows and Razor Blades Productions. We're an online community of TTRPG players whose goal it is to tell fun stories. Currently, we just have our Monday night game that you are about to watch, but there are some one-shots, playtests, and TTRPG talks and interviews in the works. You can connect with us. Oh, hey, I have links, y'all. You can connect
Trust me,
with us
you'll be on a
in
roll
our
after we do this
Discord,
a few times.
over on our Twitter. I didn't put that other one in, but we are on Instagram at Razors and Razor Blades because every version of what I wanted to use was taken. We also do have some merch. Currently, it's just our logo shirts, but if you follow the link over to Bonfire, you can get a nifty hoodie or a t-shirt or a tank top. And huzzah! Let us meet our players. Travis, let's start with you.
Oh, holy moly. So, just players. We're just talking players here. I'm Travis, also known as Eversoul. You can find me on, well, I have a Twitch account I admittedly have not been using for a very long
I just put your Twitter handle in the chat so they could see it at least.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at the provided. And also, I do, well, mainly my usual content is just YouTube, comical gameplay, comical takes on gameplay that I record and edit. I have like a backlog of stuff to put out there, so it's kind of give it time.
Slowly but surely.
But yeah, I'm definitely one of those people that is floating around in the community playing with a lot of wonderful individuals, and tonight I am here. So, and there you have it.
On to Lewis.
Hi everyone, that's me. I'm Lewis, also known as Lewis the Legend. You can kind of see that in the chat below. I am a content creator within the space, and I am mostly seen over at the Bards and Brews channel, usually on Wednesdays for the Sins of the Mother, and possibly a few other things coming up in the future as well. But other than that, I'm excited to be here and help boost this little channel.
Yay. Izzy, go on to you.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Nice to meet you. I'm here to play games and do stuff, and hi. No
Isaac
Twitter.
is a mystery, so that's what I put
Yeah.
in his
Just
shout out.
that nobody knows about.
This is his first time streaming, so we have a baby streamer in here with us. And Skag.
Yes, hello, I am Skagwater RPG. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and really anywhere else under the same thing. So yeah, I'm here. I play in a couple RPGs and on a podcast called Dice Drop Evolution. So it's fun.
And I'm Kristen. You can find me lots of places. I guess I can shout out myself too. That's a thing I can do. You can catch me on Saturday mornings. It'll be every other Saturday morning now on Ladies of D&D for 12 Gold Die. Saturday nights I play Candy over at Exquisite Corpse Presents. And I've got like 3 or 4 more things coming up. And my schedule changes so often that I don't even know why I bother with a graphic. Anyway, why don't you all tell us who you are playing tonight? We'll start again with Travis.
Alrighty. Well, I am. Maybe I bring up the character sheet so I have a little bit of a something to bounce off of here. I am playing as Maurice Belmont. They appearance wise is a little close to what I am basically cosplaying at this moment. They grew up in a hometown of Salem and clicked with a bunch of goths, and then they kind of picked up the aesthetic and got into a lot of, I would say, occultism, stuff like that, and then eventually get in touch with their mortal side, and that's a whole story in of itself. And now they are, I guess, do we talk about their true natures? Do we share that?
Let's just go with a little bit of backstory and that you have become an immortal and you're known in the immortal world at this point.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we have Belmont as my last name, Maurice, has come into his own as a immortal of the Osiri tribe, and he is somewhat of a explorer. He's gotten around. He's known for being in a lot of places. Has definitely stirred up enough paranoia amongst the mortal realm into thinking that every time his true form is spotted somewhere, disaster strikes not long after. There are reasons for that, but that's entirely a different thing. But personality-wise,
I could have swore that if someone dropped, it wasn't going to move us, and then look, it
did
moved
it?
us.
Oh my god! I should. You know
went
what I
not
should have done?
visible, skag.
I should have tested that. I should have tested that. I literally should have just been like, hold up, let me just boot myself out, because all I did was just turn off my camera.
Yeah, he completely
take a
dropped
moment to
out.
fix that if you want to.
I lied to myself.
Was it the software that you used? They lied to you. They said they wouldn't do this, but they did. And now we are left holding the bag.
I don't know.
So you give it a bit, and that's Skagwater dropped. You know whether or not he's having connectivity issues.
Could entirely be.
Could be. Could be an absolute oops, where it's like, for whatever reason, Windows decided to say, hey, it's update time, and just forcefully
It's
update
always
the computer.
Fair.
Oh, man. That used to drive me insane. I'm so glad I turned off that. Like, I forced Windows to ask me if I want to do anything on, like, restart or shutdown, instead of forcefully doing it.
Well, while we're waiting to see if he comes back in, I'm going to shout out a couple of my good friends in the community. We'll start with Guild Superior, because they were in here. I don't know if they're still in here. If you're still in here, hi! They play Beyond Saltmarsh on Wednesday nights, and on Thursday nights, right now they're playing Kids on Brooms. And then Travis is over there on Friday nights playing Knights and Bikes for charity for Extra Life. If you want to check them out,
because I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Dave. I didn't forget you on purpose. I love you, man.
Also over on Time Lord's Wife, our friend Kayla does, right now I think it's one-shots on Sundays until the next big thing goes. Oh, hey, I think he's back.
Nice.
There we go.
Welcome back, buddy. You all right?
Oh, no.
Ah!
Oh.
Okay, maybe we're good. All right, I think we're good. I'm just going to shout out the last one.
Done.
Exquisite
What
Corpse
happened, man?
Presents.
I don't know what happened.
On Saturday nights. You can check us out over there. All right, we will continue with the introductions now. Were you done, Travis?
I had it. I am just being a little discombobulated here. But yeah, he's Maurice is known for being kind of breezy, and also very distractible on a worldly scale. So very agreeable, but you have to be a little concerned about them getting, like sidetracked. Many reasons for that, but yeah, that's Maurice. So I kind of broken up introduction on that part. So whoever wants to go next, or should we pick?
You pick.
I pick Lewis.
Okay.
Alrighty. I will be playing Aiden Byrne. He is essentially kind of grew up in not in the best household and kind of started resorting to petty crime when he was younger. And eventually his immortal ability started coming up, and he started using those for crime as well, until he was eventually caught and kind of brought into the immortal world. And for the last good number of years, he's been in solitary confinement for the most part, kind of being forced to temper his anger issues, if you would. I think that's really about it for now.
Okay. How about Izzy? We'll just go back in the same order we went the first time.
Hey. So my character is Light Eric Romero. They are a orphan that was never adopted, but that's okay. They went out and lived their life. They became a dancer and a model on the side. And during choreography one night, they were attacked, and a little hit on the head caused their power to reawaken, and now they're just doing their thing.
Skagwater.
Yes, I am going to be playing Skylar Sharp, who is a wartime journalist. And so he is just coming back home from being over in Kuwait for a while, and where he had a little incident over there, and we'll keep it at that for now.
Alrighty then. So, where we come in on our intrepid heroes, anti-heroes, you pick. The people that have been called to possibly save the Phoenix area and beyond, because the Abzulim are a bad plan. So they've all been called by the Council of the Phoenix Immortals. It is made up of 3 Immortals: Harry, Andra, and Christopher. I totally did not just make up that last name on the spot. They are parts of different tribes, and they have all been called to sit on the council in Phoenix because there's been rumblings and colder than average temperatures in the Phoenix area. And these 3 council members, they're council members in their tribes in their own rights, all have avatars in their heads that are Vikings. And they were around when the last Frost Giants, sect of the Abzulim, were active and helped bury them, I guess, in the desert, for lack of a better term. It's kind of a dimensional shift, but the doorway is in the desert to try and hinder them if they do escape. And there has been hints of their minions being active again. And each of our fine immortals here also have avatars in their heads. Whether they're newly awakened to them or not, they were called to bring what information they have from back then, combined with whatever they have collected since then in their various incarnations. As a explanation for the Immortals, they have past lives that live inside their heads. And this is every incarnation that they have gone through, and then whenever that incarnation, its time is up, because that's still kind of a thing, they go to sleep, and then there's a shard that is called a vox, and it can attach itself to new mortals to create new immortals. So they have some of their own skills in their own rights, and then they can learn skills from their past lives. They just have to be careful, because those past lives can take over and wreak havoc, generally. So, you all arrive at a nondescript office building. It's downtown Phoenix, lots of glass, pretty unassuming. And you all go into the main lobby, and there is a door to your left that has a symbol you are all aware of that means only those of an immortal bloodline can enter. So who do you think arrives first? Who is the most punctual?
Not me.
Probably me.
Alright.
Probably Skylar.
All right. What does Skylar do as he walks into the door that leads into where the council is going to meet you?
Is there anybody? Well, first he's gonna check and see if there's anybody in the room. Like he'll open it. And be like, hello.
There is
Is this where the meeting's being held?
There is a petite woman sitting behind a desk. And she stands up and she says, "Ah, yes, you must be one of the summoned. Come in, have a seat." And there's a sitting area that's got some comfy chairs, and there's like some sparkling water nearby, and it's all very kind of teeth-grindingly professional.
Him not really being used to something like this, he'll just go over, grab a water, but not open it, and just go sit down, and just kind of ask, well, how many more are we gonna wait on?
There should be 3, possibly 4, though the last one can't be counted on to show up even within a few days of when they're summoned. But at least 3 more.
Okay. And he'll take his seat. Are they like marked with their names or?
No, there's just a handful, like 7 or 8 chairs that are just kind of like, you know, when you walk into a fancy lobby and they've got them like set up around coffee tables.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna go sit down and just kind of like look around, inspecting what's going on around him, because he still has that sense of something can come at him at any time.
And Aiden, while you're not punctual, Duncan is, and he's bringing you to this meeting. So you would be coming in next.
I will be begrudgingly just be like, come on, just another hour, 2 hours, like it'll be fine. They're gonna wait for us, right? I'm the only reason I'm here, right?
Aiden, how many times do I have to tell you that when you're summoned, you have to be there?
Yeah. I gotta listen to the best of the tribes and like for the better good and just.
Do you want to remain unbalanced and bereft from the power that is being held back from you?
Just one moment, Duncan. I'll light up my finger gets a cigarette. Just. Yeah, power. We'll get on that.
The woman behind the desk is just like, because you know you all can't get cancer from it, but not everybody likes the smell. Duncan kind of pushes you towards the chairs and is like, "At least sit down."
They got booze here at least, like.
We have sparkling water. If you would like alcohol, well, that will be after the meeting.
All right, make it a whiskey. Water.
She just kind of shakes her head and goes back to her computer.
All right, and I just sit down, have a water, throw my cigarette.
Do you have any
Just gonna
reaction to this guy?
Yeah. He's gonna just kind of like do the once over, like, you're an immortal?
Are we all?
All right. And he's gonna just kind of like keep on looking around, like, what in the world am I doing here now?
Oh, who's that square? I just sit back and just watch.
Who is our next team member to arrive? And I use that in a very loose sense. Apparently, we have 2 very late team members.
Just go over to Duncan and like, you're complaining about us being late.
I'm gonna show up fashionably late. I'm gonna, hear my boots coming down the hall, adjust my jacket a little bit, a couple more steps, open the door, look around, and gonna look at the two, not say too much, little hello, and just take my seat right next to. How are the seats lined up? I want to be
So there's
opposite where I can be in both.
there's a grouping of 4 and then another grouping of 4, and there's kind of one of them at each of them, I assume. And then Duncan is sitting there with Aiden. You can kind of pull one off to the side and sit up against the wall if you would like.
Yes, I'll take one of the middle seats just so I can see both of them on my side. And then look for like a magazine or something just to buy my time.
The lady behind the desk is sitting there and like kind of looked up a little bit as you came in, but then looks up again and is like, "Oh, Angel, I've seen you perform before. You are wonderful."
Thank you, I try.
And then she's just gonna like surreptitiously like slip you a fashion magazine.
Oh, thank you, my favorite. And I'm gonna go to my seating.
And how late is Travis? Or is Maurice?
I wouldn't give maybe. We had somewhat of a decent time limit deadline to be there. Probably not too long after. Why did I forget? I'm able to remember Skylar and Aiden. I cannot remember. Sorry, Izzy. What is your character's name again?
Oh, my character? Angel.
Angel.
Like,
okay. All right. I'm gonna have to write that down. It's like I'm trying to remember everybody's name, but I didn't hear it yet, obviously, because it'd be the first time I actually meet a character. But maybe like an hour or two afterwards. I show up. I'm at they come through the vestibule. There's the secretary, and I'm just like, and looking around, kind of not sure if there's the right, I had this look of, I'm not sure if I'm at the right place, but there's kind of that look of hopefulness and saying,
She'll look up and be like, "Oh, are you here for the summons?"
"Oh, I'm at the right place. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I'm so sorry for being late. I found this like really nice crystal glass shop, and then there was this restaurant. Oh my goodness, shawarma. It sounds amazing. It was amazing. I do apologize for being late. Where's the room?"
Would I hear this
As
at
you
this
finish
point?
talking about this, she's starting to say something, and then the doors that are at the far end of the hall just roll open on their own. And she's like, "Oh, they're ready for you now."
What was that now? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, because he looks over at the doors as they open up, and just like a moment of awe, like, oh, that's so cool. And then, okay, thank you. Well, you have a good day. And then just waltzes through and sees the rest of you, and you can immediately it has that looking at Aiden, kind of like that locked eyes of you. That I recognize you look.
Me. Trying to give a friendly nod.
Just kind of a little bit of maybe a little too chipper of a wave. It goes up to Angel. Hi, I don't believe we've met before. My name is Maurice.
Hi, and I'm gonna reach my hand out, shake it. I'm Angel. I'm a
Nice to
little
meet you,
surprised
Angel.
you haven't heard of me, but nice to meet you, Maurice.
Oh, I am so sorry. I'm all over the place. Maybe literally all over the place. So sometimes I forget a lot of things. But it'd be nice to get to know you after this meeting. Whatever it is, I know I was told to come here. And you, sir? And he's pointing at Skylar. I don't think we've met either.
No, he'll shoot his head up as he hears his name. Yes. Nice to meet you. You're an immortal as well? And he starts like slowly, like he's hesitant to reach for it, but because he doesn't really know.
And he's just like, I'm sorry, like, yes, we're all immortals. Are you okay? Do you need anything?
No, I'll be fine. No, I'll be
Okay.
fine.
Just let me know. If you're uneasy, I can help. Get you something, maybe water, whatever it is. I see you already have some.
Yeah, he'll shake it.
But you know what? I won't press the issue. I'm Maurice. Don't worry about, don't have to tell me any more than that. We'll just have a seat, okay? He just sits down and immediately goes into his head. He can't really tell what he's thinking about at that point.
At this time, the lady at the front desk is like, well, now that the introductions are out of the way, you should probably head in now. They're ready for you.
Oh, we're not having the meeting here?
No, it's in the council chambers. This is just my humble lobby.
Oh, right. Okay, that would make sense. Okay, well, I'll go first. And he just gets up and just he almost a little bit, almost like he's kind of gliding a little bit, leaving. You notice as he goes off into the other room, there's almost looks like dust coming off of him. It's like, what the heck is that? Almost like like spore dust, almost. This is the best I can describe it. Sorry.
It's amazing.
Skylar will quickly stand up and start following behind him. But you don't really hear any noise coming from his footsteps at all. And he's a big, hefty guy, so you'd think he would be making a lot of sound, but he's not making a sound at all.
Duncan kind of pulls up on Aiden and is like, come on, put your cigarette out. It's time to get in there already.
Yep, gotta be presentable, right? Alright. Oh, booze, right. Later. Got it. Water.
I'm gonna return my magazine. I want it to be the last one in the back. And I'm gonna scour her desk. Does she have any candy that I can take with me? A lollipop?
She didn't, but she does now.
The little dum-dums that are always there at the front desk.
Like, you kind of, as you're leaning farther over to hand it back, there isn't obvious candy, but there's, a dish of, those swirly lollipops that are, pink and green and purple, and she's like, oh, this is my private stash. Do you want one? As she sees you looking at
have
it.
one, please?
Yes, absolutely. Are you going to be performing while you're in town?
I hope so, but
Good.
we'll see. We'll see what the card with.
Well, okay. I will look out for when you perform, and then she'll just hand you the lollipop and then go back to her computer, like she wasn't unprofessional in the least.
Thank you so much, and then I'll follow after everyone.
So as you walk into the council room, everything so far has looked absolutely like just a normal office building that you would find in downtown Phoenix. Nothing looks out of place. As soon as these doors, you walk through them and you get in, there's these 3 really tall chairs that have the backs reach up all the way to about a 12-foot ceiling. And there's intricate carvings in it. There's one of them has a lot of Thor's hammer, Mjolnir reliefs on it. Another one has a frozen Venus flytrap motif that's running up it. And then the far one has just this red hourglass on the back of it, and nothing else is on the chair. The rest of the room, there's artifacts everywhere from various times in the world, and you see the legitimate Excalibur just hanging out on the table. Like, it is very incongruous from what you just saw before. And as you walk in, at the middle chair, the one with the Venus flytrap, sits this stoic woman, and she's just like leaning back in the chair, and like you just can sense that she's very, very professional and quiet. Like, she's one of those studious kind of people that is like looking at her watch because you're all late. On the far side, the one with the reliefs of Mjolnir, sits what looks like a child. And if any of you have met anybody from the Perry tribe, they take on their human guise as a childish form. And so this looks like somebody who's about maybe 8 or 9 max, and like kicking their feet. But as you look into their eyes, you see this battle-hardened, just like, you know, that look in people that have seen thousands of battles in their lives. And he's just kind of like, oh, they're finally here. Shall we get started? And then a tall, lanky man wearing robes of black and a hood up walks out from behind the last chair and just sits in it and is just like, at last. Andra, I can't be bothered. You tell them what needs to be known. So the one woman in there in the middle, she sits up taller and she's like, which of you have the avatars? Oh, I see Freydis. Forever not here. Where is my son's avatar hiding? And this is Eric the Red. Like, you can kind of see like a flash in the face of where it's not her anymore. The avatar takes over for a minute. And it is an entirely different face that you are all familiar with because you all fought in the same battles, or your avatars did, back in the Viking Age.
Hmm.
I don't have this information in front of me.
Hold on. I ended up memorizing my own. I can't remember everybody else's.
Oh, is that mine? Sorry.
Is it Eric the Red?
I'm not.
Yes. So this is Izzy's Angel's avatar's parent. And she kind of stops and looks you up and down and is like, oh, so you've gone gauche in this incarnation? I guess if it works for you. And you can just tell that this is somebody that is always disappointed in anybody that they could even be loosely related to. Well, now that that's out of the way, Harry here, and she points over to the childish one, and he waves and is just still kicking his feet, and it's really kind of disconcerting at this point. And he looks at... I should have organized this better. I did not.
It's okay. We're learning.
Mm-hmm. Session 1.
Learning from pain.
Yes.
That's how it always is.
Yeah, that is this growing pains of doing all this stuff.
Haha.
Also, the heck is that law? It's like no matter what you prepare, there's always that one thing you least expect.
He looks over at Skylar and is like, oh, goody.
It fits.
Eric the Blood Axe. I know I look much different. And he is just like hamming it up for all that you can see all of that pain and stuff in his eyes, like he's just very hiding behind this childlike appearance. And then all of a sudden transforms, and you were not ready for any of them to just transform in front of you. And his other form, his Himsadi, is literally Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. And just
Okay.
kind of like swings around for a minute and then falls back down on the seat and then is the human guys again. And it's like, isn't it so much fun what I
Okay.
could do now?
Oh, that's super legit.
It's not that.
Yes. Okay, sure. Yes. Hi. He's utterly confused right now, but he's gonna take out his book and start writing some things down.
Oh, are you a note taker too? And he pulls out, he's got this journal that's got a cartoon Thor on the front of it. And he's like, I take notes too.
Oh boy, this is not okay. And this is not what I was prepared for, but
Andre
here we
just
are,
kind of
yes.
looks at him and is like, Harry, you can talk to them later. Let us continue. So then she looks over to Christopher, the lanky man dressed all in black. And he looks over and he's like, well, at least one of my children stuck to the aesthetic. Looking over at Maurice. And he looks over at Aiden and is like, well, I mean, a son of Lothar. Makes sense that you're a troublemaker.
Oh yeah, so you guys mind if I smoke in here?
Please refrain.
Got it.
So then Andra's like, all right. That was probably unnecessary, but it entertained me. And little entertains me anymore. You have been called here. We have all been called here. Because the Frost Giants, the Abzulim, that we put it in the ground in that dimensional space that should have just eaten them alive if the gods, if there were gods, if they were kind. Alas, their minions have been spotted. They are what is causing the cold spikes. And she goes on to tell you guys that it's not just like all of Phoenix that is getting cold all at once. It's like single buildings will suddenly drop like 15 degrees in 5 minutes in that area. And then other places there'll be like icicles forming in the dead of summer. And it's been happening for about a year. So they've been sent here to keep an eye on things. But the rumblings are a sign that the minions may be about to crack the seal on the door to the other dimension. You were all there before. You remember your avatars fill your minds with scenes of glorious battles and all 12 tribes, actually all 13 tribes, because even the seldom seen 13th tribe of Atlantis came out in force to fight them. And it was by the skin of their teeth that they got these Abzulim into another dimension. And you all know that the Abzulim, it's almost impossible to kill them. They are the closest thing to what has godlike powers amongst immortals. Like, you all have pretty super cool shit you can do. But these are like cousin Ice Age powers. And they instruct you that they have given you a list of places where they believe that some of their minions may be hanging out at. We would like you to go out and check this out for us. We would go, but we must remain here as we have started... Sorry, my cat's knocking shit over. We have started to weave what serenades we can to try and see what we can do to reinforce the door. And this is taking our time away from that. So, go talk to the girl. I never caught her name. Out front. And she will give you a list of places that you should check out. You're dismissed. And then, like, as she's sitting there, like, she goes to, like, do this with her fingers, and it's just, like, vines instead of her fingers, and they curl and uncurl. And there's little Venus flytraps on the end of each finger. And she's just like, oh, yes. And then one, like, reaches out and catches a fly. And then she's like, go.
Oh, sorry. I just
Standing
want,
up,
you know,
no
that
writing
was very
face down,
pretty.
and
Just
go into the next room.
don't mind me just
Whoa,
saying.
hold
Very
on
pretty.
just a minute.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I was
But-
under your assumption that I was going to get some of my sentence taken off for this. So, how much time we talking here? Oh yeah, no smoking. My bad. Sorry.
That is something we will discuss with Duncan. Once you have gone out and begun to search, at least. We need a show of good faith.
Kind of look at Duncan, just put in a good word for me. You guys got it.
He just takes a deep breath and sighs and, like, reaches out and, like, smacks you with a taloned hand. And then it's back to normal. You're used to this. He'll reach out and just, like... He doesn't necessarily, like, actually hurt you, but it's enough to kind of knock you on your ass and out the door.
Yeah.
1 minute. I've got to get my cat. I don't know what they're doing.
Tell you what, it immediately reminds me of the whole middle of the night game of all the lights are out, find the vomiting cat before a mess happens. Type of game. By this time,
deciding
it's
to play
find the
with
cat
boxes.
before it knocks something over game. I'm telling you, as a cat owner as well, I understand the pain.
Anyway. As long as she's not knocking stuff down actively. I didn't even realize she was still in the room.
As Maurice is leaving, addressing the lankier one. Her name was Chris? I'm trying to remember.
Christopher, yes.
Christopher. I was looking at Christopher and says, "Oh, nice seeing you, Pops. Take care." And it just...
He just kind of stares at you. And, like, the face flashes, and it's that crooked grin that your avatar remembers from back when he was about to go into battle, and then it's back to the stoicism.
Hey, like seeing that turning away just kind of gets like a weird spine shiver. It's like it's always, you know, like it always gets me every time I see that. And catches up to Aiden, just kind of like putting his hands on his back and shoulder, saying, "It's okay. Hey, don't worry. They're gonna reward you. I'm sure." I know. All right. Sorry. I forget.
Remember, like, just let me know you're around.
Okay.
That's all I ask.
Well, I'm here.
You wanna
I am
smoke?
here.
We can smoke out here, right? Where else in the room?
In the lobby, right? And outside.
Perfect.
Duncan just kind of is like, go all the way outside, all of you. I will get the paper, and I will talk to them about what we can do about your sentence. And then I will meet you all out front.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you so much, Duncan. You're a dear.
And you do know Duncan, Maurice. You've seen him with, like, the last few times, at least, that you've seen Aiden. This guy has basically been his shadow. Like, Aiden is sent out to do things, but if Duncan isn't immediately in the area, he makes sure he can immediately get to the area. Because this is his personal charge, and he takes it very seriously.
Super serious mode. There you go. Gotta respect that kind of dedication. But yeah. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Duncan. You're an absolute dear. And kind of goes out with Aiden. By the way, Aiden, I've been hearing about this maybe legislation in the air, in the States, something about like no smoking in restaurants. Isn't that gonna suck?
I mean, how am I
Sidebar,
supposed to
this
enjoy my
takes
drink
place
when
in
I
the
can't
90s.
smoke? How am I supposed to enjoy my meal if I can't smoke during it? What kind of fucking ludicrous is that?
Well, unfortunately,
forget about it.
girls, they get cancer, and it's a concern. We're trying to take care of them, right?
Yeah, sure, I really appreciate that.
I'm glad we agree.
With flower baskets to let you know. By the way, we're supposed to be getting booze.
Oh wait, Did they promise booze?
I mean, I asked for a whiskey.
It's been about
you might need to
10
go-
minutes
well-
at this point that you guys are just out front talking, and Duncan walks out and he's like, all right, here is your list. And it's got Metro Center Mall on there, which, for anybody that's ever been to Phoenix in the 90s, was where I think by that point it had turned into a skating rink. It was no longer the arcade that was in the middle of the food court. Anyways, Metro Center Mall went through a lot, including being in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Really?
And has like a skate park in it, and it is literally 90s grunge in a mall.
That'd be my hand.
Hell.
For
Yes,
real.
please. Yes, please.
100%.
There is also the other places don't seem as well known. Like, it seems to be all underground. Like, there's a speakeasy on there. There's a park. Like, things that you wouldn't necessarily think, but it's on the list, and, like, there's notes next to it about things that have happened. Like, Encanto Park sees icicles and frost in the middle of winter. Minion activity suspected. None of these say confirmed, because until you guys, they haven't actually sent anybody out to check them out. Because they honestly didn't think it was going to happen. They thought it was just minions. Until the actual rumbling started, they thought that it was just a normal minion incursion. But like at Metro Center, the halls became ice skating rinks for a night when it all froze over, and then the next day there was no sign of it, not even water. This underground speakeasy had temperature fluctuations of about 20 to 30 degrees for a while. Cat
Talking
showed up.
Fahrenheit or
Yes,
Celsius?
Fahrenheit.
Okay. Making
This
sure.
is our producer.
There's a big
She just got
difference
off
in
work.
Celsius.
Oh, there's a huge
Fahrenheit.
difference.
Hello. Lou snuck back in here and is
Hello.
back in the boxes.
Oh, you guys look so awesome. I love it.
Hey.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I just want to pop in and say hello because I was excited to see everybody. Oh, the cigarette too. Nice touch.
I was
Oh,
just
yeah, I'm
talking about
loving
Metro
that.
Center.
Excellent
Oh,
stuff
Metro Center. The fond days.
right there. You smoke IRL?
All right.
All right.
What was that?
It's good
I
seeing
said, do you
everybody.
smoke IRL?
I'm out.
I don't know. It's empty.
Oh,
It's just a prop.
I definitely, I would like honestly, I'd been absolutely impressed if you went out and just bought a pack of cigarettes, literally just to promote that.
No, my
Take all
girlfriend
the.
smokes, so I kind of grabbed a few from her pack just to. for the
Perfect,
Works.
perfect. Yeah.
We work with what we have.
Yep. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
All right, so you have the list of the first 3 places. He's like, there have been more, but they do have a couple other Immortals that they've called in as a secondary team to go and check those out. And these are just what they would like you to check out for now. And he's
Okay.
like, I'm going to remain here. Aiden, I trust you will be on your at least okay behavior. I don't expect your best. And they said that if you successfully help to stop the Abzulim incursion, they're willing to knock half of your sentence off.
Well, hot damn. I'm so
Yeah.
down with that. Duncan, I don't know what you said, but gotta grab him, kind of kiss him on the cheek real quick. You're a beautiful
They have.
fucking man.
He just kind of like shudders and is like, they have seen growth. They've been keeping an eye on you. Especially Harry. Or no, not Harry. Andra.
Andra, that's her name.
Or no. Yes, Andra's been keeping an eye on you, even though it's Christopher that's your relation.
Father.
And she has seen that the path you've put yourself on with me, with actively practicing Buddhism when you feel like it, has brought you to a much better place and is willing to cut down that 100-year sentence to 50.
Wait, does that count like last few years that I've already been doing?
It's half of whatever's left. It's been, 4? 5 years? 88?
Yeah, I've been losing count.
Oh,
Solid
6
fire,
years.
am I right?
Okay, so of the 94 years you had left, it's half of that. You can do the math.
Alrighty. Well, fellas, I think doesn't really matter. Duncan, keep doing what you're doing. Let's go, folks. Where we want to go?
What? That's a good question. I would love to, we have, a few locations. I'd love to hear what maybe Angel or Skylar would have to say about this. And maybe we can get to know each other a little bit more along the way. Does that sound great?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. I was gonna say let's go to the Metro Center Mall first, because if that's gonna be the most dangerous spot, I think, between all three of them.
And would the Metro Center be the largest out of these? Will we know that?
You wouldn't necessarily know it, and Kanto Park is fairly large and would rival it. The Speakeasy is tiny.
Alright. Metro Center sounds good.
Yep, I'm down for it.
Who knows? If it turns into an ice rink, we might. Yeah.
Let's go.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Impromptu ice skating lessons.
Absolutely. Always explore all sorts of skills. You might learn something.
Okay.
So the woman that you had seen inside runs out. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I did forget. And she holds out a set of keys. And she's like, for your transportation while you're investigating. Because you all showed up in, taxis and on the bus and stuff. None of you came with your own transportation.
That would be pretty convenient. I forgot. I've been on foot this entire time.
So she hands... She kind of looks around and she's like... Finally hands Sky the keys. She's like, you, I think, look the most trustworthy to not wreck this car. And then she points up...
You wound me. I'm only kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. More than happy.
I'm thrown off. I'm thrown off by the goth aesthetic. I apologize. I judged. And it's like
It's okay. I get it all the
this
time.
janky ass cargo van.
Oh, great. Reminds me of a few vehicles that I've seen overseas. Yay. I'm so excited for this.
If he gets himself right, can't bring candy on the back.
That's about all it's missing.
Oh no.
At least it's inconspicuous, am I right?
Well, you got a place to hang out, especially when if it gets really Make sure to park it under a tree. Oh, we shouldn't have to worry about it. It's been getting cold too.
As
You
you
can't count on
guys get into it, like it's got the front seats, and then there's one bench seat in the back. And then in the far back, there's no windows, so nobody can, look in and see this. There is very obviously heavy manacles and chains that at least Skylar would have seen in his work over in Kuwait. The Immortals over there, a couple of the battles that were being augmented by Immortals that shouldn't have been doing it. He went out and helped capture those Immortals, and he would know that these were to restrain any suspects you might find, because minions, while not unbeatable, they're also, still immortal.
Oh yeah.
It could be nasty.
So don't put those on, but we might need it. We might need them for him, and he'll point over to Aiden.
I kind of look over, just like, oh man, hurry up! There's some weird stuff in Phoenix, huh?
Yeah,
Not that kind.
I mean, I'm not one to shame.
I mean, sure. You want to try them on really quick?
Not the first time I've seen
maybe
this
that's
kind of
fine,
stuff.
fella.
People invite me to weird places. Let me tell
At least
you.
buy me a drink first.
Anyways,
And you have also been given map quest directions, because
Back.
oh
90s.
boy, the printed out map quest. Oh,
Who knows?
don't
Okay, who knows how to read maps? First off, who knows how to read directions really well? He's gonna ask them, "You're okay? You're gonna be in the front seat with me."
Excellent. I'm very good at this. I'm
Are you really? Like, are you really?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Trust you. Trusting you here.
You ain't lying.
With Metro Center as your first stop, the directions give you basically go on a one-way street up to a freeway, and then it's literally just a straight shot up the freeway, so it's not even hard to find.
Okay,
There's
good.
also a small amusement park that sits in front of it, because castles and coasters is a thing.
Guess this is what bigger towns get.
Oh yeah.
This ain't nothing compared to New York.
And what did you do in New York? I gotta ask.
Oh,
Is it
what
like
didn't I
adjust their rear view mirror
do?
to
I'm
look
just
back
sitting
at him?
Just ignoring innuendo. It's just hotbox in the back. Just, oh man.
Fine. Hold on. It's got to have the rolly down ones. Gotta crank it.
It's the manual.
Oh, the 90s.
This is when roll down the windows actually made sense.
And so, here, that just so we get some good air, good, clean, fresh air.
Smoke don't hurt you.
Say something. Anyways, you were asking him a question.
Oh yeah, you're driving around, petty crime.
And you got 100 years for petty crime.
Oh no, that's that was before. Kind of snap my fingers real quick, a little bit of smoke just off. This shit. Anyways, started a band for a while, kind of very reminiscent, like Sex Pistols, stuff like that. And eventually, one of my early jobs as a Immortal, trying to keep balance and make sure none of these peasants know about us, But you know what? I'd rather not get into it right now. If you're really interested, ask Duncan.
Duncan tells the best stories. I will tell you that.
As a side note, Duncan would probably have told you what happened, Maurice. So you do know about the Pan Am flight in '88.
I am thinking Maurice is like, I would rather not like mar his reputation with that right now. That's a big one right there.
I actually kind of like look at Maurice with my glasses down, like.
It's kind of like,
Don't do it.
So it's honestly all of like maybe a 15-minute drive to get where you're going. So it doesn't take that long at all. And as you pull up, you see a very obvious sign of minion activity. There is a rather not inconspicuous spike of ice that has come up in Castles and Coasters. And it's like stopped the coaster from moving because the ice point is like in front of it. And there are people in this roller coaster car. And on that note, we're going to take a break.
Oh, goody.
good plan. I tell you.
So we'll
Get
come
that
back
middle
in
point.
like 10, 15 minutes. I gotta take care of a couple things real quick because
Got a
life.
intermission.
Yes,
Got an
so
intermission panel.
We will be right
are
back.
going to go to,
Yeah.
in theory, haha, be back soon. Mics are still hot. I'm gonna run and grab a drink and see what we're doing for dinner because I have no idea.
I elected not to eat any more for the day because I ate way too much.
I'm gonna hit the mute button and I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Same.
Say what? Let it all out. Just go to the bathroom. Just don't fall in there. I could probably do with a drink. I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be right back.
Yeah, me too. I'm used to hitting my control button.
Good. We had one point where the video was all went off.
Oh, it's perfect.
It clicked where I put this. That's why I was late. I couldn't remember where I had this stuff. And then it clicked. I was like, oh, that's right.
I hate it when you get stuff and then you don't know where you put it.
Yep.
That's the worst.
There we go. He's so content, or she's so content to just lay there.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, I almost did this too. There. But I feel like these are more futuristic than the 90s.
That was perfect timing. They were just ordering food. So
Nice.
Oh, yum. What we eating?
we getting Vietnamese.
Jealous.
Kombucha.
Actually, no, I could have pho. I can make pho tonight. It's only 6 o'clock here. It's good.
Oh yeah, you're behind us in time. I always forget.
Yep.
Time zones, people. Although we'll be on your time zone for Izzy and I on March 13th for 6 months.
Oh, yay.
Oh, yeah.
Because Arizona doesn't observe daylight savings.
They're like, no, that doesn't exist here. It's
So that's why
fine.
I've been
Oh,
trying to put
no.
everything in Pacific Standard Times because I'm like, all right, I don't want to be confused when we switch over, so I'm just going to make this all now. And then I grabbed a drink and didn't bring it upstairs with me.
Oops.
This is my life.
There. He's back.
Did I see a puppy?
You did.
Hey, nice hat. Loving it.
Thank you. It clicked. It clicked. That's why I was late today, because I couldn't find all my stuff. I was like, where in the world did it go? And then I went to the bathroom, and then it clicked where I put it.
Yep. Exactly. For your last look. It's basically the last place you look is where it is.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let me tell you, like, trying to get ready for the. I was telling Kristen that I was trying to get ready for this, and I spent an hour and a half trying to figure out how to do a French braid down the side of my head, and I just can't. I suck at braiding my hair. I can't.
I know. I have that same problem too.
Yeah,
I have
there
that
you go.
same
I
problem.
mean,
too.
I've got maybe an inch of hair on my head.
Condolences, man, that's a challenge.
My wife has asked me to braid her hair before, and I'm like, are you sure?
Honestly, you'd be surprised how easy it is once you get the hang of it. Like, it starts to become like almost a meditative process.
All right, are we good to go back?
I'm ready.
I'm good.
I am A-okay. Gotta stop tipping the can while I'm drinking it.
Woohoo, we're back.
Spilling over my pants.
Hello again.
Hello!
We left off with castles and coasters having a giant icicle stopping a coaster with
There's
children
people that are-
screaming on it.
Oh, yay. And let me guess, they're pinned right at the top, huh?
Yes, absolutely. Where else would it be?
And how high is this thing?
It's not terribly high. The coaster there, I think the highest it reaches is maybe 30 feet. It's not very high at all.
Okay, good.
Look at 30 feet down to being stuck. They might be a little unnerving.
And how it is it's like up a curve and it's like just at that high point. But if it pushes back a little bit and the people running it disengage the brake, they'll just go back down to the beginning.
So who's good at distracting people?
Oh, that sounds right up my alley.
Wonderful. I'm
Oh,
really
good.
bad at that.
We might need your help then to distract these people so we could hopefully maybe sneak those kids off of that coaster.
Sounds good. And I'm gonna get to my thing, walk to the middle of the crowd. Oh, we're out of the van, right?
You
Yes,
guys,
we're out of
saw
the van
this.
now.
Yeah, you saw this as you pulled up, and then you've pulled into the parking lot and stopped. And for those that have never been there before, you have to go in through an arcade and then come out the backside to get to the coasters. So it's a mad dash through an arcade and then out to the other side.
So do I have to like hold on to Maurice's hands so they don't get distracted by all the lights?
Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest. Like, I easily get led all over the place, but if I could focus, I could get anywhere. Let me tell you, that's my biggest problem. I appreciate the help, definitely.
So as you make
All right.
your way through, you come out that back door. There's parents screaming, there are children screaming, the workers are looking around like, what the hell just happened? And I don't know if there's a check for this. It's been a really long time since I've actually run a check on this. Give me a minute.
Yeah, this is the first one we've done today. Nice.
Oh, I'm learning all sorts of things that I could have used for checks already.
There's lists within lists.
There's so
Within
much.
lists.
There is so much.
That was one of the fun parts about creating a character for this game was, oh, it's got this, but do you want to specify, but you're going to want to specify in this thing.
Mm-hmm. Like the gymnastics, oh, you can do acrobatics, or you can do parkour, or you can do balancing.
Yeah,
Yep.
What's your focus? It's so quiet. Somebody's complaints. Yeah, it was very, very intensive. I ended up having to create like formulas just to keep track of all the points I was spending on everything.
Travis Dunn went and made an entire Google sheet that made
so
character
helpful.
creation actually easy.
Easier.
Well, yes.
Yeah, it just blunts the pain a little bit. It's still a lot of reading and looking through the book.
Okay, yes, there is a perception check. If you have perception,
Excellent.
make it. Well, anybody can make a check, but if you're skilled in perception, you can add that on.
All right. And what die do we use, actually?
D10s.
Okay.
D10s.
D10s is the only dice you will use in this game.
Just one D10?
I believe. Let me look. They do not have this set up very well, so give me a minute.
Oh, crap.
I think it might be that for you roll one dice if you're not skilled in it, and then you add a dice for each level of skill you have in it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
I guess it has that, like, SPT the SPT attribute, or your spirit attribute, and then the spirit attribute die is, like, the only thing I came across so far. Apart from like all the rolls, which just felt like it was all over the place. I kept assuming for some reason we're rolling with a D20, and I'm like, no, that don't make sense. Damn you, D&D. You screwed me up yet again.
So used to just rolling the D20.
The big one.
Well, like I've done most of my TTRPG in D&D, but I mean I've done.
This was
World of
actually
Darkness
my
to use 10s.
first system I ever played more than a game or two in one campaign in. So I should know it, but that was like 15 years ago.
It was a little bit ago, you know.
Just a little bit.
But they did experiment with quite a lot of different dice systems. Like, there's a Lord of the Rings one that uses D6s.
Yep.
Basic mechanics.
There was a
That's
Pokemon United, I think, uses D6s.
I know Scion uses D10s.
I love me some Scion. I'm going to play
I think
that
it's
soon,
'cause
and I'm excited.
I think it's
Scion
basically
was-
the whole World of Darkness system uses a lot of D10 pools. something like
Yeah.
that.
Like the age system does like 3d6 for each roll.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, as
Which is really interesting.
our hosts would definitely be familiar with that because we actually did a one-off with Game Night Heroes. We were rolling. They just had released the episode of that podcast. It was 3d6s, but they had like a stunt die. Like one of your
that's the
d6s was a
age
stunt
system.
die. That is it. It was super cool, to be honest.
It's like cool creative crits if you really want to put it in an interesting way.
I remember only playing with D10s when I played this, and that is not what this is telling me. Characters have a die they roll based on the rating of their spirit attribute. The strongest of characters, Spirit of 9, rolls a 12-sided die.
We're all learning new things.
When they attempt actions in game. The weakest of characters, Spirit of 1 or 2, roll only a 4-sided die. The number rolled is added to the value of the attribute being used for the task. So depending on if you have what your spirit level is in perception, depends on what die you roll.
So yeah, I do have to be able to look up specifically on the sheet. We'll tell you what your die is based off your spirit. So
Okay.
you'll have that already figured out.
There it is.
Huzzah!
So glad I figured that out.
So that's an 11.
Okay.
I got.
Is anybody else going to roll for it?
Where's this die that I'm supposed to be? Oh, here it is. 5.
I roll 8, and is it plus anything or?
It's plus whatever your spirit in perception is, from 1 to 9.
Ooh, cool. That's a 9 total.
Learning crunchy mechanics.
Learning new systems is fun, guys.
I mean, to be fair, the player's handbook alone has like over 300 pages, and it's almost all character creation.
Yeah, I want to see like a physical copy of this book. Is this book like this thick? Or is
I
it
don't
like
remember it being
that?
very thick. Like, when the person that ran it for me before, they had it physical, and I don't remember being it that big. But this is also the version 3, and we played the version 1, so.
This is like about roughly the size of like the Pathfinder player handbook. I think.
Yeah, the huge. That thing is massive.
Yeah.
Oh
my
the door
God.
stopper.
That's the reason why I love Powered by the Apocalypse games.
They're a bit more concise. They
Yeah,
have it
it's
pared
like-
down.
Oh yeah, it's 2d6 dice rolls, and then it's like your stats are 1 to 4 or 0 to 4.
Okay, so if
Super easy.
anyone rolled higher than a 9, you will be able to see this person.
I got a 9.
I did not see it.
So you see standing at the base of the coaster where the spike of ice is rising up is a lone person standing who has like that look of dry ice coming up off of their body as they have literally like broken open a drinking fountain so it's spurting in the air and then turned that into ice. And there's not really many of the humans that are noticing them. Like, they're all confused on where the hell this thing came from. But nobody is, like, actively going to look at the thing. It's almost like they're being pushed away from it, visually.
I'm gonna tap on the 2 guys that haven't noticed him yet, Maurice and Skylar, and I'm like, do you see that guy over there?
What? Where?
How I do?
I'm trying to like follow, like basically like almost have my head like up against your arm as you're pointing, trying to like follow your finger. Oh, what are you doing up there?
Yeah.
That looks suspicious.
Hey, I'll go take care of it.
Suspicious, don't
Can
be
I try to
suspicious.
approach him stealthily?
Let us. I think there is a thing for that. I kind of wish. Oh wait, I can search. I'm.
Oh, wait. You need a little bit of help sneaking up on them. Do you have a plan?
Yeah, I got it.
You sure?
Try and figure out how to help these people out. You guys can figure it out, right?
Okay.
I
guess so. I'm mostly just trying to avoid being looked at.
Yeah, you.
Sure. And he
That's
will.
master.
And Skylar will just. Is there an actual mechanic around?
There's not a mechanic. There is absolutely the person running it. But besides that, you don't see any other people that look like they're working there besides the people that were in the arcade and at the mini golf counters that you ran past.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Skylar will then just go up to and there's nobody else, there's not another cart or, container full of people that are, on the tracks itself. It's just the one.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Walking up to running up to him and say, do you know how to put this thing in reverse? Is there any way to get this thing down?
They're I can take off the brakes, but until it's pushed back, they're stuck. I don't know what to do. And he's visibly pale and panicking and just basically about to hyperventilate.
Okay, relax. Put off the brakes.
Okay, so he'll reach over and pull the lever and, all right, the brakes are off. They should be able to go backwards now.
Okay, good. And so Skylar will then just try to climb up to the front of it and try to push this whole thing backwards.
Okay, that is going to take a roll to get up there. Let me see. In my 30 million tabs that are open.
Is there a lot of people just watching him right now?
Yeah, do we still need the distract?
Yes, distract them.
Most of the people are looking straight up at the coaster car. So
Okay,
right where he's about to climb up is where everybody is looking.
You don't
So I'm going
suppose,
to,
Angel, if you want to team up, you distract them, and then I help Skylar seem nondescript?
Also look at your serenades
Yeah.
and see if any of those.
Trying to
So I'm
see,
going
can I...
to
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
walk into the middle of the crowd and cast Charm.
Okay.
And I will do a thing for Skylar specifically after you resolve that.
Haha. Okay.
Because Skylar is strong boy, he can do it. I know that he can.
Okay, these are all just base humans besides the one immortal actually causing it. So they wouldn't have a very high mind level in comparison to everybody else. So
My mind is 10.
Oh yeah, no.
Already.
You're gonna be fine. None of them are going to be able to fight against you on this. So how are you charming them?
I'm going to. Good question. I'm going to slowly touch the people as I go by into the middle of this crowd, and then pull out some tickets so they actually have a reason for my upcoming show, and start handing out some tickets, and make sure when I hand out tickets to people, I'm placing my hand over theirs so that the spell takes effect.
Brilliant.
So you got anybody that's watching him is as he walks through this crowd and just every person that he comes into contact with just turns and is like staring at them and like hyper focused. Like they know that something bad is happening back there, but this person is just so consuming their attention. And it's almost panicking, but because they're charmed, they're not sure why they should panic. Because it's such an abrupt change. So now that everybody's looking away, I'm pretty sure there is an acrobatics check.
There is.
And in the meantime, while they're doing while Scour's climbing, I'm gonna see whether or not I can impart metaphor onto Scour, so he seems mostly like this is absolutely normal. Don't pay no attention to this guy. He's climbing up the roller coaster.
Okay, and since he's a willing creature, technically, this kind of shimmer begins around him, and all of a sudden it's really hard to focus on him. So I do want you to make an acrobatics check for me still.
There you go, bud.
All right, cool.
Probably agility, I believe.
Yes, it is an agility. I just don't know what dice rules the thing.
What is your level in it?
My agility is a 5.
Then that would be a D6, I believe. Yes,
D6. That will be a 3 plus 7.
Okay, you get up there pretty easily. Like, there's maybe once that you come across a spot where you're getting closer and the ice has started to ice over the rail and you slip a little bit. But you make it up there fine. And you get up to the car, and there's about 9 screaming children. They're all children. You would put no one older than 16, but no one younger than about 9 on there by themselves. And they are all very freaked out because they're like trying to go on this coaster, and all of a sudden this spike of ice stops them. And that is a terrifying thing to just see pop up in front of you. Ice doesn't grow quickly.
No. So it's just stopped there. Like it's not, the ice isn't embedded into the cart.
No, it's like there's rungs for the track. And it's up between 2 of the rungs that are like hold the sides together, and then in between the rails.
Okay. So then, yeah, Skylar will then just try and leverage some strength out and push it down, try to get these kids safe.
Make a strength check for me.
All right. So a 9 in strength.
That is a D12.
D12. Sweet.
Strong boy.
Strong boy.
He is strong.
Oh, come on. That will be a, oh, you mean. Uh-oh. I don't like that roll. I don't like it.
Oh, this is the start of a great adventure.
That'll be it. That'll be it.
And that's
It's
how
still-
we all died.
I mean, it's a 10. It's a
You rolled
10
a 1
still.
on your D12.
No, I rolled a 3.
Oh, gotcha.
So, I mean, it'll still be a,
3 plus 9.
yeah.
So 12 is
11.
actually exactly what you needed.
Oh, thank God.
So you strain, and like these kids still can't really see you because the metaphor is still cloaking you, and you just pull back on it, and it starts to move backwards, and then you suddenly realize you really don't have anywhere to go but into the car.
That's fine.
There is
Look
one...
out. Hold on, kids.
So this person appears out of nowhere all of a sudden because once you talk to them, the metaphor fades. And there's one empty car. It's not the seat. It's not the very back, but it's like 2 seats up. So you're kind of like spider monkey crawling along the side, and you're like kind of jumping in, and it goes back down, and it makes it down to the bottom. And at that moment, the screaming kids breaks through the charm because all of their parents now see their kids are down, and they rush over, make sure they're fine. Is anybody going to try and get all of the mortals out of here? Or are you just going to go for the immortal?
While this is happening, yeah, I've been trying to sneak up on the immortal.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a check for stealth.
Okay,
Sneaky.
so stealth.
Pretty sure that's agility under evasion.
Yes,
Yes.
which I am focused in.
Awesome.
So
Cat-like reflexes. Didn't even see it coming.
So with your focus, do you like camouflage? Do you blend? Or do you just like the smoky shadowness happen?
it's more like because there's a bit of a crowd right now, I'm more like blending in right
Okay.
now and kind of just like bobbing and weaving a little bit. Kind of, there is a little bit of like smoke that kind of goes off me to like prevent people from feeling me,
Okay.
but like just enough so I can get right behind him.
Okay. And what did you roll?
And that was a 14.
That'll be good enough. I was gonna roll, but this immortal can't get that high in that roll. So you're
Nice.
able to sneak up on him, and as you get closer, you still see that like dry ice steam coming off of him, and he has his arms are wrapped around the pillar at this point as he's trying to keep it up, and he looks up and he sees that the car is moving. And so he starts to let go of it and turn around. But you manage to get all the way up to behind him before
All right.
he does that.
And can I, right before he does, can I like just touch him on the shoulders and use embrace?
Absolutely.
Peekaboo.
So it's like a little bit of like, I just touch his shoulder, be like, where do you think you're going? Stick around a while. A little bit of smoke comes out of my fingers and kind of goes to like his wrists and his ankles and just like locks him up.
Okay.
You and I need to have a little talk.
Amazing. So this is a 2-turn duration. But you can focus again and try and keep him there since there's nobody else actively trying to attack you.
All right.
Can he move his head, or is all the way
For this, it's just wrists and ankles, just
wrists and ankles?
bound
Okay.
together.
So he kind of turns and he's like, oh, so they finally sent, I guess you could be called, the A-team.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Exactly what I was thinking.
So because he didn't see you, he can't get out of this, but he is going to attempt to, of course, when I looked that up, I lost where I was at. I will be much more organized next week, I promise.
I also was like trying to figure out how these durations actually work. It's definitely different. Because the numbers are indicative of like volumes of time. Like, was it like a turn versus a scene versus a
Right, yeah.
act versus like a whole adventure?
Yeah, no,
Or a whole
it's...
episode.
It's a comic book.
That's
it
nuts.
really is.
That's the easiest
Like,
thing
I
to
love
think about
this
it.
game, and I'm glad we're playing it, but I'm also like, what did I do to myself?
The way it's set up is really nice. You can take a lot of it for like a lot of different systems. Like
Yeah.
I've already kind of been adapting some of it for my home game, which
Nice.
is 5e.
Yeah, there's so
There's a lot
much cool
you
stuff
can
you
take
can do
from
with this.
There's a lot. I love the Serenades things though. Like the Serenades
Yes.
was
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite things to read.
This is legit how you how you level up your TTRPG game.
Mhm.
You play other TTRPG games.
Exactly.
And
As the Matt Colville would always say, is steal the idea and incorporate it into your own.
yeah,
Mhm.
steal it respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully.
Steal everything from Call of Cthulhu.
This
Got to.
Yep.
That's That's why I was so stoked when Pathfinder like poked around with the sanity mechanic when they made Strange Aeons. That was super cool.
Okay, so as you watch, this immortal attempts to change his hands and legs. You can see them start to morph into spider legs. The thing with this immortal is they're very heavily tainted. And so they must make a will roll to see if they can actually make this work. I get to roll a dice. Hooray! And his is only a d4 for will. So it's not likely he's going to get this. You know, that's all of a 4. So he loses control over the change and almost goes into a little bit of a frenzy. And like he's pulling at the chains that you've put there, and like it's almost like he's foaming at the mouth. Like, you've seen this before, Aiden, in your job as a slayer, where in the Arachne tribe specifically, they have the tribal weakness is Himsadi Frenzy. He failed this roll by 9. So that means that he will have to shift to full Himsadi on his next action and attack those around him without mercy.
Oh no.
Oh,
You
boy.
fought one
Oh,
of
boy.
these before, and the thing is, like, he will attack indiscriminately. So any immortals, even if they're on his side in the area, could be in danger from him. And he failed it by 9, so that is 9 turns in which he has to make a will save that he's going to fail, where he will attack allies, foes, and bystanders in his immediate vicinity.
We got 9 turns, y'all.
Oh, I recognize this, right?
Yes,
Still
you
looking
do.
up. Oh, you're
And you
right,
do
yeah,
know
saw
that there are certain serenades and the like that can stop them long enough, like with your embrace. As long as you keep it active and there's no other distractions around you, even though he changes, the chains will change with him. He attempted to change to get out of them, which is dumb because serenades don't work that way.
But we're learning.
So Maurice ends up seeing this and understands that this is about to get messy. The last time he's seen Aiden have to handle a fully transformed immortal. He's gonna kind of glide
And this is very
over right
much
behind
a
Angel.
full-on human-sized tarantula that he's basically having to keep his hand on to keep frozen.
That's but that fuzzy feeling. I'm telling you, I get a spine shiver just thinking about touching that thing.
And instead of the like spiky hairs, he has an ice nature, an ice motif that he is bound into. And
He's like a
so
frostbite type.
it's little tiny icicles instead of little tiny hairs. So he's also cold to the touch at this point.
That is so fucking metal.
So I will need you to make a will save. It's not a very high success rate to see if you can keep your hand on him.
All right. Will. Okay.
There's a will, there's an aid. Here we go.
That is 8.
Okay, that's actually exactly what you needed. So you are able to keep your hand on him as he goes through all of these turns of just flailing about as a giant icy tarantula.
That's definitely a 90s metal band name too. Icy Tarantula. That is
It's not a band name, it's a song name somewhere in there. Telling you.
So, as you're able to, and also with all of this energy that he's expending, as these turns end, he does slowly go back into his own form, and the willpower that it took fighting that, he's almost catatonic at this point. So it'll be pretty easy to get him up in the van. That icicle is still there. Somebody has a chance to get rid of it so that there's less questions asked by the mundanes. But you don't have to.
Just lean over my shoulder. I did another job. Actually, looking at this icicle with my advanced knowledge in physics, would I know how to break it down pretty easily? Like find a crack in it, I'll have to like splinter up, like
Pull
any
some
weird
monk
like
stuff.
that.
Pull some monk genetic stuff. Shatter it.
Seriously. Just hit it right there. Yeah, sure. Pull out a gun. Am I allowed to have a handgun on me?
Do you have any level in biology?
No biology.
Okay, I'll give you a D4 roll just to see if you can. Like, it's gonna have to be a 4 so that you get a 5, basically, to know where you hit.
And what would I add to this?
Just a 1.
Just so the D4 plus 1?
Yes.
Alright, 3.
So you're looking at it, and you think you might see a spot where you can break it up, and you lash out with your foot. It's not quite right, and your foot is starting to kind of throb now. Like, you're so confident, but it's just not quite right. But again,
Yeah.
you do have fire at your fingertips, and this is an icicle.
Well, I don't want to be too crazy, so can I just flick my hand a little? Or not like have fire, but just have my palm just be warm?
Yeah,
And
and
just let
definitely
the
start
heat
to
from my
weaken a
palm
spot
just
so
kinda
that then
like-
you can try and kick it again and knock it down. Because that would weaken
Alright.
it enough.
Cool. Izzy, were you going to say something?
Oh, I'll restrain him if you get rid of the ice.
Yeah. Good idea. Just drop him
So
on
I'm
the
going
ground.
to.
He's no longer the icy
Right.
tarantula. He is now back in his human guise, and the ice is no longer like sticking off of him. So you can approach and be fine.
So I'm going to embrace him and then use embrace as well to keep him from
Double embrace.
Great minds think alike.
Excellent.
It's just
so
a
to
hug.
outsiders,
That's all that it
it's
is.
this like Angel. Angel isn't very like big looking, is he? Like he looks more like
No.
lithe. So yeah, it's literally just this like unassuming, very like you wouldn't expect them to be able to just throw another being over their shoulder and just walks off like it's nothing. Because all immortals have enough strength to at least do that. So do you take him back to the van and lock him in there?
Yep.
And these are special manacles. Again, Sky would know that, like, when you look at him, like, you go to clamp him on him, and you don't see any locks or anything, but as you, like, clamp it onto his wrists, it just kind of fuses together and is one piece of metal. So he is restrained. You have successfully saved the kids without drawing too much attention to yourselves. Did you want to finish trying to knock down the icicle now that you've kind of weakened the
Yeah.
spot? All right.
I could just come over too.
Since this is
I gotta do everything around here.
since you used some part of you, the flame part that would actually melt enough, you've gotten a spot where it's like obviously like starting to lean, and so then you can just kick it and it'll fall. So,
Cool.
are you going to go back to the headquarters, Or are you going to go explore more?
Explore more.
Maybe we should start questioning this guy. Or maybe we bring this guy to Duncan.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Duncan will have a lot of fun with this guy.
All right.
Give our little word captive. Give him a check over, make sure like he's like you have like the little flashlight, checking the eyes, make sure like they're kind of there, they're not about to like keel over, have a heart attack, or just vitals, all that stuff.
Immortals are very hard to kill. That absolutely would not have been enough. That was more him just wasting his energy and going catatonic. Not catatonic,
really
even, like just passing out. So you jump back in. It's the exact same route back that you took. Except, I do need from Skylar, or whoever's, or Skylar or Maurice, either one of you, if you have, what is it?
The driving skill.
Navigation is what I'm looking at, under
I
survival.
got navigation.
Okay.
Oh yeah. More in it.
Ask my co-pilot.
There you go, man. I can read MapQuest backwards.
So since you do actually have
Every party
the
needs one.
survival there at all, I will say that you're able to figure out that, hey, if this street we came up is one way, we're going to need to go down another street to go the opposite way. And you manage to get everybody back to the headquarters. As you pull up, Duncan isn't outside. And Duncan did bring you in a car, Aiden, and you do not see the car there.
Son of a bitch, he's slacking. Supposed to watch my ass.
I was going to
Oh,
say you
let's
can call him, but cell phones aren't that big of a thing right now.
He's got
You
a
got a
big, he's got like a
maybe?
pager, yeah.
Oh, yeah, pager.
Pager.
You can pager.
There you go.
We can hit him up at the pager.
Oh, the
Where are you?
It's like number. It's just like that. Where are I don't remember any of the how
You
it
look up
translates.
and you see the car pulling in behind you. He very obviously followed you guys to go and watch.
I kind of just look at him like,
He
We got him.
parks and steps out of the car and just the golf clap. You weren't
Oh, so-
too conspicuous, I will give you that. Though you had a lot to contend with a giant icicle.
oh,
Anyway.
yeah, don't you see that shit?
Would you like me to take him so that you can continue on?
By all means.
So he reaches in, and he doesn't show off his strength very often. But instead of, like, unchaining him and bringing him out, he rips the chains out of the bottom of the van and then just, like, throws the chains over his shoulder and drags this dude behind him. Like, he does not care about this immortal at all. This immortal has hurt his standing in this world, and he's not okay with that.
Again, he's gonna end up getting all sorts of rashes. And
He'll be
And-
fine. He's one of
okay,
us.
I get it.
Kind of.
The lady
He's a bit of a
from
jerk.
the lobby comes out and she's like, I guess I should just get new ones. And so she goes and she grabs out some more of the chains and she's like, in case you need more. And like, she legit pulls out like a mechanic's kit in her little pantsuit and like screws new chains into the back of this van. Happy to help. And she walks back in.
Booze.
She
There's
turns
stuff that I will just
around
never get used
and
to.
she's like, just throws a wad of cash at you, and it's like all 20s. And she's like, you're headed to a speakeasy, get your own, and walks back inside.
Well, the speakeasy place sounds even cooler now.
Oh boy.
Is that where we're going next?
I
Go
mean,
to a speakeasy.
Is
I mean,
that-
we have the park too.
speakeaters of the park. Y'all decide. I think park, since we've already been outside, might as well stay out here longer.
I like the way you think. It's probably gonna chilly later anyways, right?
Angel
Save the
says,
best for last.
yeah.
What do you think, Angel?
And for the speakeasy, if we save it for last, we can reward ourselves with a drink, so we can do the park next.
I like
Exactly.
Pretty Boy.
Absolutely.
Pretty Boy's got a good idea.
By the way, that was a very,
Work
very
hard,
wonderful
Work
performance.
harder. Play harder.
So you're going to the park?
Park is next.
Okay. So Encanto Park isn't terribly far from y'all. It's a little bit more difficult to get to, but since you have somebody that's proficient in navigation, you find it there with map quests fine.
Not quite.
We got
Like, well, I get
proficient
to use
in
map
navigation,
quests.
and we have a proficient in driving. We're good.
Oh my god, we're the dynamic duo.
We can actually go places.
So
That's why we put you in the driver's seat.
So, as you make your way there, you come up to the park, and there had been reports of things weird going on, but currently you're not really seeing much. As you get out and you're looking around, you can take a look if anybody has... I guess this would fall under survival too, so if... with the navigation, you probably also have the scouting and tracking. Maurice.
Well,
I have
I
tracking.
don't have it as a focus, but it would be an unrelated focus.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, that's right. That's
Survival.
right. Suggested. Gotcha. Okay. So, and this is... Encanto Park is fairly... Like, it's not as urban of a park as a lot of them are. So... the scouting and tracking isn't too terribly difficult, but you can take a look around, and I do want you to roll... Do you have a number in survival, or is that just the focus? I need to read better. 4? Okay, awesome. So that is a D6 as well. So roll a D6, add the 4 to it, and see what you can find.
You are mute.
Huh? We can't.
Can't hear Maurice. No,
Nope.
can't hear you.
We lost your voice.
Gotta press a button.
Oh.
Ha ha! It came unplugged. Yes. We are professionals.
We're experiencing technical difficulties, folks. Please stand by.
Yeah, and it zoomed in on you real good too.
Oh yeah, because it swapped over to a thing. Hold up.
Oh,
He's
What are
ready
you
for his
doing?
close-up.
I think I know what it is. Hold up. It's the Logitech Hub decided to take over, and now both programs are amplifying the Zoom.
Oh.
Oh yes, love
Gotta
it.
love it.
Enhance further, please.
There we go. How's that?
There we go.
So much better. No, what happened is for whatever odd reason, my microphone just decides, you know what, we're going to stop working. So the only way to fix it I've found so far is unplug it and plug it back in. So the old tech result, the old tech and everything.
I think my damn cat
I
is
just need a hotkey to literally just like
Oh, no, it's Luna.
power off my microphone whenever it does that.
Oh, no, it's Luna.
All right. Now that I am working between two separate programs that are managing this webcam, it's going to drive me nuts.
Yes.
Oh.
I finally got the cat out of there. Let me kick her out.
You don't mind if I cast anthropomorphosis in order to ask the surrounding structures if they've seen any like odd individuals that may,
Sure.
you know. Basically, I'm just talking to inanimate objects, saying, "Have you seen some weird people that do icicle stuff?"
Ooh.
I like it.
Why, yes, there was a gentleman that was chainsawing ice here, making ice sculptures.
Yeah, dude. Props to whoever just happens to have the skill to do ice carving in the middle of Arizona.
I mean, I've seen
Oh my
it.
man.
It's like that guy came from the Northeast or something. Like, you're
All
not
right,
a
now
native.
that Catus Interruptus is over.
Had to interrupt us. Did you catch what I had said earlier about
Yes. Go ahead and
Saturday.
ask the inanimate objects.
Since I am basic, I can't imagine. This is kind of. I imagine this is about as rough as doing speak with animals, and speak with objects, or whatever spells they have in D&D. So it's got to be pretty basic question.
What are you looking at to talk to?
Well, I mean, we have a park here. I don't suppose that maybe if there are some benches, some trees.
You can
I'm
absolutely
not sure if
go
you
over
got
to
some
it.
like shade trees in the park specifically. I'd imagine that would be a nice little luxury to have in a hot place. I don't know what it's like in Encanto Park, so it's me guessing.
There's some trees. There's definitely benches. There's playground equipment. It's one of the few places, like the parks are one of the few places in Phoenix where you see real trees. Like they have it along the roads and stuff, but they're all just Palo Verdes. They don't count.
I feel that the shade is a premium.
Yes.
So, well, I don't suppose I might ask maybe a bench or two, just kind of like they've had something strange and individual that seems to be obsessed with icing everything over.
So you walk up to a
You
bench
got
and
some
ask it about
spider
ice.
type inclinations.
So you go up to a bench and you hear on the edges of your consciousness, I bench. Bench don't like cold. Cold happened last week.
He turns around. Apparently it's been quite a bit since the last incident, so maybe it'll happen again very soon if they're going to be antsy. We probably could have just asked that from headquarters, but at least we now have a better idea. It's been a week since the last time we had ice.
Like, is there a group of like teenagers, kind of like
Oh, there's
punk
absolutely
asses,
some
essentially, like
some teenagers
Oh,
hanging
there's-
out on the basketball court, shooting some hoops on the hoop that doesn't have a net or chain or anything. It's just the hoop.
The wonder is we're going to walk up and be like, hello,
This is
fellow
downtown
youngsters."
Phoenix, and it is not the greatest of areas.
A little rough out there on the
The rims, the thick rim.
Yep.
So is there like a group of like, I don't know, punks, essentially?
Make a perception check to see if you can see any punks outside of just the
Alright.
people, the guys playing
Perception
basketball.
check. That is 14.
Okay, yeah. You look off in, like, it's past the basketball hoops, and there's back along a fence. You see a couple kids sitting there with skateboards.
All right,
Smoking.
They're smoking?
Yes.
Excellent. I'm just gonna walk up to them. Hey, what's going on there, kids?
They all kind of look at you shiftily, like,
Can I offer each of you a light? Smoke for either of you?
they're all kind of hold up their cigarettes that are already lit. We're
Oh,
cool,
well, it's the
dude.
backup for next one. Like, you don't smoke just one cigarette and then just stop. You smoke every hour or so, right? Like, come on. I was gonna talk to you.
Let me look at checks quick.
I gotta lie, I know exactly how you can get a. I used to smoke, so I know exactly how like these conversations usually end up starting. It usually starts with shit, I forgot my lighter. You got a light? Yeah, it starts like that.
I imagine you have taken larceny as a skill.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Would
You're about to steal their hearts.
Streetwise would work for this.
All right. So, what attribute would I add to this?
It is either agility or perception.
Okay.
You can use which either one is higher.
17.
Oh, jeez.
I think he did it. I think that check passed.
So they all kind of give you another look over, like, all right, maybe this guy is more like us. Like, he's not one of those shitty adults that's gonna turn us in for this. So they walk closer, and they're like, okay, and, like, a couple of them have put out the current cigarette and pulled out another.
All right. First of all, there's some weird stuff going around here. You guys know about that, or kids hang out here often?
Oh, like a week ago, there was this weird, like, I don't know, man. I've never actually seen ice, because we don't really get that here.
Like, I've never seen snow around here. What the hell is that stuff?
Oh, no, I know people that have gone decades and never seen snow living here.
Yeah.
So,
Reals.
so one of them's like, yeah, and there was, like, icicles coming down from the playground equipment, and, like, one of them fell on a kid, yo.
Oh, shit. Kid okay?
Yeah, it just, like, hit him in the shoulder, and he was a little bruised up, but did you know ice could fall?
Yeah.
Like, they are flabbergasted. They have never seen anything like this. They're like, I thought the movies lied.
It can also float, but next question. You ever seen anyone, like, I don't know, say just out of the ordinary? Someone new, like, someone you don't really see that often that just showed up?
There's always new people. We get lots of new people. They hold huge picnics out here every weekend. Like, hundreds of people come to these things. So there's always new people.
Ah, shit. Alright, I probably have my...
And then one of them kind of stops for a second, is like, oh, dude, no, you know when it was? This was when that fight thing where those people came out with the swords and they camped out here. What do they call that? Oh yeah, war. It's
War.
yes. And Canto Park is where they hold war in Phoenix.
Anyone do anything, even stuff you guys would want to do?
I don't
Stuff you guys
know.
would agree with.
We just kind of sat here and laughed at all the people with the wooden swords, and there were a lot of babes and, like, dancer outfits, and we liked that. You can tell that.
Hey, focus. I really don't care about a bunch of dorks playing dress up. But, all right, I'm gonna pull out my wallet. Kind of pull out a couple. Like, how many kids are there? Like 3 or 4?
Yeah, there's about 4 of them.
Yeah, pull out 10 for each of them. Probably gonna come back here in a few days. If you're around, if you see anything interesting, let me know.
All right, dude.
Enjoy the smoke.
Another $10 if we give you anything?
You know what? Let's see what kind of information you guys can provide.
All right, dude. And then they just go and lean back up against the fence.
Cool. Gonna head back to the group. Well, that was actually all right.
And what'd you find out? Anything actually
Of
helpful?
course, like to hang out here. We're like to beat each
Looks
other
around the
sticks.
group.
Well, you don't say. Oh, it wasn't
All right,
for
so
metaphor,
besides
people would
that,
be
there's
staring at
not
me right now.
really anything anybody's seen. You've talked to a bench. You've talked to some punks.
You're welcome. I wanted to use that at least once in this entire story.
Fair.
Came up right away.
Mhm. The important
Thank
stuff.
So, are you gonna look around anymore? Or are you just gonna call it and
Is
head
it
for the
so?
speakeasy?
Is this park like a loop, or like?
This park is about, I want to say, at least 2 city blocks, but it might be more. It is a large park.
Oof.
I mean, where I'm from, that's not that big, but. So is there like a walking trail?
Yeah, there's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a smart move. Walking trail.
She's fine.
Yeah, we could just walk the walking trail once, making sure that 2 of us go one way and then 2 of us go the other way. We circle around, meet each other at the other end of the floor we're at now. See if we saw anything. If not, then we come back around.
All right.
All right, who's in groups and make perception checks for me?
Angel, you gonna come with me?
The 2 brothers and Guy and I.
Yeah, Maurice and I need to
I can-
catch up anyway, so.
Yeah, either way.
Okay. Yeah,
We'll
that's
have a great
fine.
conversation.
All right, so first make perception checks, but then if any of you have things you actually want to talk about, go for it.
Cool.
Uh,
Let me see.
did I put my die back? Am I being dumb? Yes, I did. Brilliant. I mean, I honestly should because
Ooh.
like
Sweet.
my partner got me these recently, and they're like apparently made of glass.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, ooh,
Okay.
man, freaking spoil me.
If I'm feeling bougie, I got my metal dice.
That's bougie. Holy crap! You feel when those things fall onto the table.
There's a D2, and it actually has a spider with a skull on it instead of a 2.
See, I love this dice, but I hate this dice because if you look at this one, it's got so many bubbles in it.
Oh,
And it's
oh no, we
terrible.
gotta
It's got its own random.
ban
generation.
hammer. We had somebody come in trying to buy followers.
Oh, nice.
We had our
Oh,
first
there's
bot,
your-
guys.
You have been initiated. You got
We
your
did
very
it.
first bot.
Get it. So I got a 9 on my check.
Okay.
Got a 6.
11.
17.
Okay. First, if there's any conversations that want to happen, go ahead and do those, and then I'll tell you at the end if you notice anything.
Oh, goody. Yeah, I don't know what to ask Angel. I'm gonna be very frank. I don't know. So you're a performer, as he's like scanning the trees and stuff that would be there.
Yeah, and I'm a little distracted. I'm looking at everything. Yeah, I perform, mostly dancing. Sometimes I model, and I look at something and then continue. And what about you? What do you do?
Well, this is honestly my first time home in what seems like years, but I'm a war journalist.
Oh wow!
So-
And what brought you back home?
I was just over in Kuwait dealing with the stuff that's going on in the Gulf War over there, and then I got summoned here. So, yeah, that was fun. Not really. Yeah. So, what exactly are your quote-unquote powers?
Oh yeah, and then you'll see me breathe into my hand and make a little ice globe. And there's
Not
not,
trying-
a really... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, nope. I was just gonna look at just like pointing at that, and then pointing back to the van with a spider. Ice, not related. Noted.
Nope, I promise I just got here. And then there's not any moonlight out, so I can't really use that. And then touch. I wiggle my little digits. What about you?
I yell really loud,
Oh, okay.
and I can make things. I can make people become quieter or louder, depending.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy for me. Oh, I can fly.
Oh.
That's right. I can fly.
I haven't learned that one yet. That's awesome.
So you guys are getting to know each other, walking around. You don't really notice much, Sky, but Angel, with your connection to ice, you see just the smallest bit of ice lingering around a tree. And then we'll cut to the other two, and then we'll come back to that.
I've actually tied like a little bit of string around Maurice's wrist. I'm kind of just like, because Aiden's the kind of person who kind of just like walks off on his own to do his own thing, but he also wants to he knows Maurice is very distracted easily. So kind of just like make sure him and Maurice can stay close.
Oh yeah, I would have been totally examining a tree for like a good 10 minutes while you're like already half freaking park away from me.
And I kind of like tug on it every once in a while.
It's very interesting. I wonder if it's like.
I mean, like it looks exactly like the one right next to it. Like,
Well, they all have different characteristics. You ever notice like each of them and the way that they grow and their bark? And then some of them attract different kinds of insects. That one has a very particular moth. It's only native around here.
oh, you don't say.
Well,
How you been? It's been a while since we last saw each other.
yeah, it's like about a year or two, I think.
We'll have to catch up with Duncan on that one. Anyways, you look good.
Oh, thank you. And
I've been a
look
little.
like you've been behaving yourself for the most part.
It's not
Like a new
easy.
man.
Duncan's got this whole like centering yourself and like finding balance. Like I get it sometimes, but like I don't know. You know about my block. And I kind of just like snap and just smoke. Like it's supposed to be more, but like I'm still like I can only focus every once in a while, but
Sometimes
I
it's
don't know.
just maybe you're thinking too structured. Maybe you need to like. I'm not trying to seem too, how do you say, cliche, but like opening your mind.
you sound just like Duncan.
Yeah. Duncan tells great stories.
He tries to anyway. Anyways. Yeah, you look good. It's good to see you.
You. Yeah, there was a couple of weird, crazy stuff that happened. I heard some place over in Oklahoma blow up. Do you hear anything about that?
Yeah, that wasn't me.
That wasn't you? Okay, I'm
No,
glad. I know you've like
Duncan's
already
trying
have
to
enough
keep,
on your
damage
plate.
control.
Yeah,
But
and we all have our things. I know. I try not to cause too much trouble. No, I just spent maybe the last couple of years is mostly just spending over. There's a very nice place over in Nigeria, actually. Very good people, actually. Nice food too. Very spiritual. Fortunately, I got the summons, and then I had to leave them there. There's a couple people that really needed my care. Who knows? Maybe I'll see them in their next life. Oh, that's right. They're mortal. I keep forgetting about that.
You know what? Write down their names. They can hang out with their kids later. Yeah?
Grim as it is, sometimes we just need to embrace that we're like, not a shepherd, but like a custodian.
Sorry. What?
It's okay. Is the cigarettes getting to you?
No. It's just this weird cold. It's just weird weather, man. Like New York, being inside most of the time. It's just smoke's never bothered me.
Hey, I get you. Yeah, there's a lot of people have been lately been using a lot of air conditioning. They don't get used to the outside temperatures, and that's why we all end up getting sick. Well, we don't get sick, obviously. They get sick.
No.
And what were your guys' perception checks again?
I got a 6.
11, you said?
You got an 11. I got a 6.
So neither of you really notice anything, but in the back of your mind, Maurice, you hear Osamu speak up. Something feels off in that direction. And points off to the tree that you now see Angel at.
I'd imagine that with I'd imagine with that moment it was almost like I like verbatim repeated what they said. Almost like as if I was in a dreamlike state. I think there's something a little off over there. What were we talking about?
Would I have noticed that, or like?
You would have noticed it. You would have noticed the like shift in vocal pattern, because a lot of times the avatars, like with where he said it, it's almost like a mirroring when they're not taking control or trying to, but they're speaking up. And some of that does bleed through. So you've seen this happen with Immortals before.
Alright. Yeah, let's go check that out. Kind of like pat him on the shoulder. Let's go.
Alright, so as all of you converge on this tree, Angel, you see the ice that you had noticed from afar is like in the tree. Like you look at it and it's like at the base there's like the ice is almost, it doesn't look like it's over the bark, but it's like inside of the bark. Like almost like there's a chunk that's been shoved in there. So there could be something behind it.
I don't have too much. I'm going to lean in and get a little closer.
That's a really nice tree you found there.
Thank you. And I'm going to like lean in intently. Can you talk to this one?
Not sure. I mean, they're not really inanimate. Think about it. I think about it. Are there any like moths hanging around in the tree itself?
Make another perception check for me. Actually, like do it at like you would have advantage. See which one is higher because you're connected.
So I would go. That's a 9 for perception.
Okay, you look around and there's no moths on this tree, but like the next tree over like maybe 12, 15 feet away, there's a lone moth just hanging out on the bark.
Okay. So I'm going to invoke a nature of my own, species communication, and kind of like in a frequency that is very much not audible to human ears. Try to speak, essentially call the moth over and try to like, I don't know, try to suss out like what it's experienced around this tree, if it has. What's so particular about this tree?
Pardon me while I search how long moths lives.
Not very long, let me tell you.
7 days.
Some of them are,
15 to
yeah,
29
some of them are
days.
literally
Okay.
days or a couple days.
Yeah.
I don't know. My grandpappy told me. It's like, grandpappy? That was like a week ago.
So this moth flitters over, and you can see him kind of cock his head, like, you speak? You speak real words. You're smart.
No.
Super smart.
You want to talk?
Yeah. What have you? What's something special, something different about that tree right there?
We don't like that tree. That tree has been, for about half my life, just too cold.
Just that tree.
Yeah, there was other cold. But I heard that from other moths. I wasn't around then.
Oh. Okay. Well, thank you. I think you've been a great help. You should go now.
Okay. And he flutters off.
Well, it looks at the rest. Oh, sorry. I was in the middle of something. Yeah, you definitely pinned the nail on there. That tree is probably at the center of our phenomenon.
So, Fire Boy? Smoke Boy? What do we call you, Aiden?
Aiden works. I'm already kind of like up in the tree, kind of just like.
Are you? Hold on. Are you suggesting he smokes them out?
Yes.
Need to smoke out the answer.
Yes.
How many puns can I come up with here?
Yeah, Burden will hear more.
So basically what you can see, there's like knots and stuff in it, but there's no other prominent holes in the trunk of this tree. It's just at the base where the ice seems to be blocking what appears to be a hole.
A hole?
Like it's just the ice is just clear enough that you can see that it's a thick piece of ice. It's not just like ice over bark.
Alright, so try to kind of just like warm up that little area.
Yeah.
Kind of see what we get. Alright, it's gonna take a little while, so bear with me.
What'd be the likelihood if they hit a sanctuary here?
Alright. We kind of start going to town, kind of emptying this little hole for us to kind of get through.
Okay. 1 second. Search doesn't really help me much when I'm searching for ice. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I had to find the thing it was. So as you're looking at this, it's starting to seem like it's a little thicker than you would expect it to be. And it's almost like ice has burrowed into this tree. Like the hole wasn't there before. The ice created it.
Interesting.
And as you look at it, like, in the ice, there's, like, bugs, there's grass, like, things were pulled to it. Does anybody have frost wall?
Womp womp.
Negative. That's a no.
Nope.
That would
Okay.
be a no on my part, I'll tell you what.
So, as you're looking at it, even with the heat you're generating, it's not going fast. Like, it's very obviously something that's super cold. And, like, as you're going on it, it's not, like, just melting. It's, like, that dry ice effect again. Where it's, like, super frigid.
Could I possibly speed up the process? Because I'm figuring this is my elemental essence nature that
Okay.
I'm using for this.
Yeah.
And I have the spirit of the Sharikai, my tribal gift, that lets me double the effectiveness of a nature that I'm using.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So could I use that to kind of help speed up the process of just melting
Yeah.
this ice out?
That'd be super
So
cool.
you go ahead and do that, and it still takes an easy, like, 45 minutes for you to get through this. Like, it was
Well,
in there really thick. So as you get through, you see what looks like a piece of paper that's been shoved back in there and was stuck in the ice.
Oh, that's something. Can just grab it real quick.
yoink.
Let me get to a new page quick.
New
It's
tab.
a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
I'm waiting for it.
Whatever you pull out, suddenly there's a burst of confetti. Congratulations. You are the 100,000th visitor.
This is an ambush. Prepare to die.
Oh, yeah, definitely don't miss those stupid ads.
I'm gonna just like slowly get us to like encircle him and not cause as much attention to his palm, him just resting a palm on the tree.
Does anyone have earth science as a skill?
Negative.
Earth science? I have Earth science 4, but it's focused in astronomy. I mean,
Okay, no, that wouldn't help out so
I-
much here, but as you pull out the piece of paper, it's not like what you would expect of a piece of paper, like especially been in water, like soggy and weird. You pull it out, and this seems old, like it's on hide. And the water has managed to obscure some of the writing on it, but you do catch a few words. The words that you catch are central,
Central.
15th,
15.
and attack. Everything else is unreadable.
Huh. Looks like we got something interesting here.
And with the
tell me about
17
it.
perception that Angel had, you don't really see anything else that seems out of the ordinary in the park. So you can either take this note back, or you can check out your last location you were asked to. And get your drink on.
Yes, drink.
oh, we could ponder over some drinks. Why not?
Yeah, let's go ponder over some drinks and see. I like that idea.
So as you look at the map quest, the instructions are from the downtown
Find me a kiosk.
to it.
Go to an internet cafe really quick.
Yes, did you find an internet kiosk?
But-
Let me just print out some more instructions. How do I find this place?
In the grand scheme of things,
things.
the directions for Encanto and for the Speakeasy were only a little off because the Speakeasy was basically on the way to Encanto Park. It is so where you were at with the office building was on Central and Thomas, and this Speakeasy is down on, if I remember correctly, it's 3rd Street and Jefferson, so it's all of like maybe a mile, half mile away from headquarters where you were. So it's,
Well, good.
you have the directions to it, but when you get there, there's no sign for the Speakeasy.
Of course. It would be a speakeasy.
So I need everybody to roll perception checks.
Ten.
5.
10.
Okay, so the
I
two
don't
of you
see
that
anything.
got 10, you don't necessarily see anything that screams Speakeasy, but you do notice there's a couple people hanging out in an alley, and you wouldn't expect them to be hanging out there. Does anybody look at the paper they were given with the map quest?
Probably Maurice.
That'd be the navigator.
Navigator looking at paper.
So when you actually read the paper, it says where the Speakeasy is, and it says, to find the entrance, you have to look for the red light.
Oh, so now we're going to the red light district? Heck yeah.
This particular Speakeasy is actually like the only note that it's there is a red light above a door in actual Phoenix.
We're looking for a red light above a door. We didn't see it out here on the street. Maybe it's in the alleyway. Maybe the entrance is in the alleyway.
Well, let's go.
Yeah.
If that's what you
did-
think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
uh,
need a
that's
drink.
where I think. Make sure to park under a good spot.
Just drive through the alleyway.
There's
Right
very
now, right?
obviously people in the alleyway. We do not have big alleys here.
Okay, now just find a decent parking spot.
Feed the
If it
meter.
gets hot, it gets hot.
Say what? Park anywhere you want.
So
man.
as you walk
Park
over
right
to
into
the
somebody's front
alley,
door.
you do see the red light, but as you walk down the stairs, there are 2 doors, and there's one that you see more people going in. But then on the second door, you see a familiar symbol that means that it is immortal only. It says staff only, but you all know better. And on that note, we're going to end for the night and have all of you reintroduce yourselves and tell us where we can find you.
All right.
Let's start at the end this time and go with Skag.
All right, cool. Hello, everybody, and goodbye. My name is Skagwater RPG, and you can find me on any of the social platforms under Skagwater RPG.
Easy.
Hi, hello, goodbye. I only have an Instagram, Izzy Talavera, and that's about it. Bye.
Lewis?
Hi, I am Lewis. You can find me on Twitter at Lewis the Legend, Lewis DE Legend.
And Travis.
Hi, I'm Travis, also known as Eversalt on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Granted, Twitter is Skane Eversalt because some bozo stole Eversalt before I actually made the account, so sorry. Yeah, that's where you can find me, and new stuff will be happening eventually on my YouTube account, so there you have it. That's where you can find me. And other than that, here. Quickly. Same
And
time.
I'm your narrator, Kristen, and you can find me at Darth Cerelish on most of the platforms. We do have Twitter and Instagram for the account. We're mostly just on Instagram at this point. And we do have a Discord if you want to jump in and hang out or come play some games with us. We've got some one-shots that we're going to plan out. We got some interviews that are going to come up. And some entertaining just talking. Like for one of the playtests that I'm doing a one-shot for. You literally have a table to roll to make your alien world Western hat. And we are literally just going to make hats on stream because that entertains me. The League of Indecent Haberdashers is what we're calling ourselves.
Interesting.
So we have that coming up, and then the next campaign after this is going to be a playtest of Spellburn Earth, which is a new TTRPG that is still working out the kinks, and we're going to be the first stream showing it off. So that's fun. So check it out on Twitter to keep up with what we're doing. Discord to say hi, play some games. We also have some people that look for offline games. You're more than welcome to jump on and try to find some friends to play offline with. And on that note, we've been Rainbows and Razor Blades Productions, and have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Love you all. See you next week.
Yep, thanks for coming by.
And we're still hot mic'd.